So much. Thank you so much, Sonia, for the invitation and the introduction. Welcome all, whoever is watching me in any part of the world at any time globally. It's like a global village. So I'm Khatija Qureshi, and I'm
Sorry, Khatija, you're muted.
sorry.
That's okay. Oh, you're muted again?
I don't know. It's just, I hope it doesn't happen. Okay, so it's great to be back, Sonia, and sharing with the pre-arrival audience on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile for Canadian employers from the lens of Canadian hiring managers and recruiters on what they want to see on your LinkedIn profile, so that you get higher rate of return with the time, energy, and effort you put on LinkedIn. So today I'll be talking about on how you can optimize top 4 LinkedIn real estates on your profile so that you grab that attention in 6-second recruiter scan. So today you will be learning primarily on how to create that attention grabber and communicate your talent skills in that 6-second scan. So let's move on. Next, please. So a little bit about me. In one short sentence, I am an online LinkedIn trainer for newcomers to Canada and immigrant job seekers. I help immigrant job seekers connect to career opportunities using LinkedIn. Also, I have been creating content on LinkedIn for past 3 years, so I really know the ins and outs of how it works in Canada. Also, I have been serving in immigration and career space for about 2 years since I started my own business. And I have been educating, consulting, and training immigrant job seekers to connect to economic opportunities. So that's a little bit about me. Next slide, please. So let's talk about why LinkedIn. That is the first question you need to be very clear of, because when you have a goal and you're very clear about that goal, the motivation to achieve that goals comes from within. So I want you to be very, very clear as a pre-arrival immigrant in Canada that why you should explore LinkedIn for your career economic opportunities. LinkedIn is an undisputed marketplace in Canada where you have more than 17 million plus professionals. So, and this is all digital. So you can do it at the comfort of your home. Now, what you need to do, I will be talking about that in next slides. So first of all, that this is a breeding ground for professionals where you can make your presence felt and achieve your career objectives. So there are 17 million professionals across all laterals, across all professional spaces. Moreover, because of COVID-19, one of all the COVID-19 was not great, but it did created an opportunity for digital networking on LinkedIn. And the numbers which LinkedIn released was that conversation happening on LinkedIn has increased year on year by 50%. And these are April 2021 numbers. Also, the numbers have also increased of professional presence, like who are creating content. By content, I mean who are commenting, creating posts, writing articles. That number has also increased from 1% to 3 to 5%. So these numbers are just showing that professional attention is there. Over and above, one of the basic fact is that Canadian employers use LinkedIn as a professional tool to find and vet talent. So these are certain numbers I'm just sharing and validations I'm sharing with all the immigrant job seekers that these are the facts in Canada. So probably LinkedIn might not have been used as a professional tool in your home country, but in Canada, if you have your first job in Canada goal in mind, you need to be on this platform and you need to be in a certain way, which is what I call a Canadianized way, so that you are accepted and your rate of return of conversations are high. Next slide, please. So that
Sorry, Khadija, you're muted again.
Okay. I'm not doing anything. It just gets muted on its own, but thanks for the heads up. So now that you have decided on that you need to be on LinkedIn, there is a certain way you need to behave. LinkedIn is not like other platforms. Like if you can see in the slide, that if you want to be on Facebook, you want to write about donut. So you can be casual. You can take a casual selfie and write that I like donut. You can be on Instagram and say that this is a cool photo of my donut. So basically, LinkedIn and other platforms are poles apart. On other platforms, you can be casual. You can represent yourself in a very, very informal way. But when it comes to LinkedIn, it's a little different. Can we have next slide, please? So when we talk about LinkedIn, there is a certain way you need to behave. And this is a professional mindset. This is a professional network. This is a professional platform. And professional come on this platform with the mindset of being professional and getting those professional goals achieved. So if you want to write about donut, it needs to have a professional goal. So probably you can write that I hope to operate a donut franchise one day. These are my donut making credentials. These are my top donut recommendations from my colleagues. So topic is the same, but donut topic is the same, but what you wrote on other platforms versus LinkedIn are poles apart. So have a professional mindset when you come on LinkedIn. Can I have next slide, please? Also, when we are talking about mindset, one of the major things that I have come across.
You're muted again. Sorry, Khadija.
Okay. There are a lot of myths which immigrants, job seekers have. So I just want to bust those myths, and quickly I'll go through this. One of the myths that immigrant job seeker has is that LinkedIn should be treated as an online resume. LinkedIn is not an online resume. Let's be very clear about that. In Canada, I can talk about Canada. LinkedIn is not at all treated as an online resume. LinkedIn is a social networking platform in Canada, and different professionals come on this platform to collaborate, have conversations, and of course, there are professional goals attached to it, but it is more than just a resume. And a fact attached to LinkedIn is that employers like recruiters and hiring managers use LinkedIn. They are very active on LinkedIn to find talent passively for that unpublished job market, and also vet talent for published job market. By published job market, I means the positions that get published on website. By unpublished job market, I means positions which are never published online and then they get filled in through referrals and recommendations. So either it's 80% of unpublished job market or 20% of published job market. LinkedIn is used to find and vet talent. So you need to be on LinkedIn, but in a certain way. Second myth is that I can only connect with my family and friends. That's a big no-no in Canada. On LinkedIn in Canada, you can connect with any stranger professional because, as I mentioned, stranger professionals come on LinkedIn with a professional mindset and with a professional goal. So they would welcome inviting stranger network people into their network. So don't feel afraid in reaching out to stranger professionals. Third is that I just need to make a LinkedIn profile and that's it. No. LinkedIn is a social media platform. So like any social media platform, you need to build and scale your presence. So it's more than just making a profile. It's more than just having a profile itself. It's more than that. So you need to optimize your presence to be visible first and to create that impression. Can I have next slide, please? So after busting these myths, how you should behave on LinkedIn, and this is a mindset, or these are the to-dos or etiquettes or behavior that you need to display on LinkedIn. And I call this value mindset. This value mindset, which I coined this term, was featured in a LinkedIn news editor recently. And And what was I saying over there was that there are 4 etiquettes that you need to follow. These are like under the carpet, expected out of you as a professional while you're on LinkedIn. First, you don't need to go after perfection. You just need to go after progress. Progress is better than perfection on LinkedIn. You just need to display your real you, and don't think about that I need to have a perfect piece of picture, perfect content, or perfect this and that. You just need to be there. People, specifically Canadian professionals, are having conversations about being raw and real rather than perfect. The second thing is that you need to keep in mind that when you are interacting with Canadian professionals on LinkedIn, it's not about numbers. What is important that you should have sustainable relationships with them. It should not be just a connection and then you completely ghost them and no conversations at all. You should not keep your mindset that I need to have so many number of followers. As a job seeker, you're not on LinkedIn for numbers. You are here to connect with the right people and convert those connections into conversations for change where they bring opportunities to you. And the last thing is the value mindset. You enter into the LinkedIn world full of Canadian professionals with the mindset that you are here to serve their purpose, to serve their professional goals, because once you give, they will be giving back to you. So this is what I call value mindset. And this is what you should have in mind when you enter LinkedIn Canadian professional world. Can I have next slide, please? Okay, so let's talk about what roadmap you should take. The first is definitely you need to optimize your LinkedIn home, which is your LinkedIn profile, which is by your name. Just like if you're new on LinkedIn, just like on Facebook and on Instagram, you have your own page with your own name. That's exactly what we call LinkedIn profile as. That is your own LinkedIn profile with your own name. So you need to optimize certain sections so that you come and write recruiter searches. Plus, you need to write it intentionally so that once the LinkedIn human comes onto your profile, you're able to create that impression. Second is that once you have created your LinkedIn home, you need to start becoming visible and express your thought leadership. And that you can do by writing articles and posts. The third thing is that once you're done with the first 2 stages, start networking intentionally and meaningfully. It's not just about connection in Canada, it's more about conversation. So if you're happy that you are your connection request is accepted, is just the first step. You need to go a long way to nurture the relation so that you can attract the opportunities through the connection network. Next slide, please. Okay, now.
You're muted again.
Now I'll take you through the lens of an employer, how they search for you and how they see you, basically. So this is going to be an eye-opener experience for you. So if I am an employer, there is called a recruiter's tool, LinkedIn recruiter, which recruiters use to find talent. That's a different tool, but I'm just giving you an experience using LinkedIn.
Muted again, sorry.
So in recruiters tool, LinkedIn tool, also they use keywords. So what, for example, if they're looking for social media consultant, they would go into the search bar and write these keywords. And this is how you will appear. This is how the search throws back the results. So right now, if I'm writing social media consultant, it is giving me some 3 million numbers of results. And the top ones that are coming in front of me on the first page is Michelle, Farrow, Beverly, and Nitson. So Michelle is right now competing with Farrow, Beverly, and Nitson. So this is exactly how you will come in front of recruiter search. So to first of all come in this search, you need to optimize certain LinkedIn sections. And the second thing that you need to make sure that when you come in this search, you are putting your best foot forward. And what are the real estates which are getting displayed? Your profile picture, the first real estate. Second is your name. Third is your tagline. Fourth is basically your geographics. If this convinces them, then they go onto your profile and in a 6 second, they scroll through. And if that further convinces them, then they will vet you or will be interested in conversing with you. So just wanted to share this eye-opener employer lens with you on how you can come in front of them and use these real estate to sell yourself. Next slide, please. So let's talk about the 4 real estates. We already identified in the previous one that profile picture, your tagline, and your geographics, these are and your name field are one of the 3 real estates which will attract. So let's talk about profile picture. Profile picture is one of the basic thing which I see. Not only immigrant job seeker, but any beginner on LinkedIn, they don't know how important can be a profile picture. Profile picture is the most important piece to set the first impression. So make sure that you have a professional profile picture, a neutral background, professional representation, and it is reflecting how you want to be perceived as by your employer. So that's the first thing. Also, numbers states that profile with photo display gets 21 times more profile views. And that is what our objective is, to get more visibility in front of the right people. So make sure you have a professional looking profile picture and it is in public profile setting. A lot of time, unintentionally, beginners don't convert their setting from private to public. So they appear as a no person icon like this that you can see. And this is how you will appear. And a lot of my clients, my immigrant job seeker clients, didn't even know that they are doing unintentionally. So make sure that you have a good picture and your setting is public. Third thing is that there's a new feature on LinkedIn profile picture that you can upload what they call is cover story video. It's a 30-second cover story video which gets displayed as a part of your profile picture. So if anybody go and clicks on your profile picture, a small video will be displayed which you can use as again a real estate to connect with your audience through video. And video is a beautiful way where you can sell your skills, talent, and welcome the viewer. So you can again use this as a real estate to add depth to your personality before the recruiter scrolls down. The second thing, if anybody comes onto your profile, the second real estate is this background header, which sits just besides, just at the back of your profile picture. This is the most underrated and underutilized real estate. This can be used to create that quick impression in front of recruiter, who you are, why you do what you do, and what is the call to action you want them to take. Also, you can create credibility using this real estate. So I would highly advise you to make a customized designed background banner at the back. You can use a Canva or Trello. These are Canva and Trello are two drag and drop beginner apps, designer apps, where you can easily design a banner, this banner at the back. Use it to explain what you do first. A call to action, like I've put up my website. If you have a portfolio where you have uploaded on a website, you can put that over here. Any logos, any North American logos that you have worked in your origin country, you can even display that there. But again, be heedful that you have the permissions to put the logos. And third, show an image. Visual speaks louder than words. So show an image of the ideal job title or a dream job title you want to be remembered for. So basically, this is a billboard which will create an impression in a 6-second recruiter scan before they scroll down to your event tagline. Can I have next slide, please? Okay, the third real estate which we saw, which comes in the searches as well, is the name field. Now, a lot of no-nos happen in this name field. So I'm just sharing the best practices with you. LinkedIn says that this name, use this field what is supposed to be. Use your first name and your last name, basically how you do. Ideas to make it accessible for your audience to search for you. So whatever name you have put in your resume or you want to be remembered for, use this as a space to display that. Over and above, you can LinkedIn suggests, because there is not a separate field right now to put up suffixes. By suffixes, I mean that if there are any certifications you have done, like PhDs, or any local Canadian certification like CHRL or PMP, right now, because there is no separate field, so you can put this in the name field. You can also add any name to make it easier for the audience to find you. What is a no-no? Don't put any personal information like emails, phone numbers, symbols, or special characters. Like I see a lot of immigrants putting currently hold PR in their name. Don't do that. That place is not for that, because then you are messing up you're messing up your name field with the LinkedIn algorithm. LinkedIn algorithm prefers certain things in that field. So you are basically reducing your chances to be visible in the first few of the recruiter searches. Next slide, please. So we have discussed so far, which is the name.
You're muted again.
Okay. And the background banner. So these were the three real estate. Let's talk about few features which you can enable to optimize again your
Muted.
I don't know what's happening, but let's move ahead. So you should optimize few features which LinkedIn gives you, and these are again hidden gems. The first one is for job seekers is that enable open to work feature. This is a new feature which was introduced last year. So highly there are different debates. I will highly recommend to enable this, because research shows, and this research is coming from LinkedIn, that whoever enables this appears in recruiter searches more, and recruiters have more conversations with those who have enabled it versus those who haven't. So highly recommend, based on a data-driven insight, you should enable it. Idea is to become visible, and it exactly does that. Also, I have seen a lot of immigrants, while they are searching for their dream job title, they want to freelance.
Muted again.
So if you want to freelance, you can enable providing service feature, where you can pick up the services which you offer and be specific about that, what you can offer to the freelancing or the consulting or coaching community. That is one of the things I have seen immigrants freelancing while they are looking for a full-time dream job title. So you can enable this service as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk about the fourth real estate. The fourth real estate is basically your headline, which some call tagline as well. And in the recruiter searches, you clearly saw the name field, the profile picture, and the headline or the tagline are the things which make you step out. So put your best foot forward, but make sure that you're optimizing it to be good friends, not only with the algorithm, but also the LinkedIn human. What are the best practices? The best practices are, first, to be good friends with LinkedIn algorithm, make it infused with keywords. Keywords can be title, industry, your expertise, you want to be perceived as. Also, while you're writing this, you can even use short slogans. Now, slogans should not be like 2-liner, 3-liner. It should be very, very small. Again, you should write these slogans on how you want to be perceived as. So ask these questions while you're writing these small slogans. What does it tell about me? Does it show my professional brand? Does it express any uniqueness? Does it capture what a recruiter would care about? So it should not be only about you. You should write it from the lens of the recruiter. Is it talking to what recruiter is looking for? So again, the good news is LinkedIn increased the character space of this real estate to 220 character. Earlier it was one between up to 150, but it has increased. LinkedIn has increased it to 220 characters. Use it to the maximum and represent on how you want to be perceived. So this is one thing. This is the fourth real estate. Another optimization, which a lot of beginners on LinkedIn don't realize, but it is expected out of you in Canada, that you should optimize or customize your LinkedIn profile URL. What is URL? It's a direct website link which brings someone directly to your LinkedIn page. So you're basically your LinkedIn profile page acts as your website, which speaks of your credentials, skills, talent, and experience. So make sure that you customized your LinkedIn URL, and you can do that by going onto this website, like I have highlighted it in red. Also, you can do it manually as well, which I will show you in the next slide. Can I have next slide, please? So how you can do it manually, you can go on to desktop version, click on me, and under me, it says view profile. When you go click on view profile, it will say edit public profile and URL. So you can do it manually as well. But do customize your URL. And what do I mean by URL? If you want to come to Khatija Qureshi URL, it will be LinkedIn/in/Khatija Qureshi. So it's customized. So LinkedIn/in will be default. Then after that, your name will appear. So that is the customized URL. Next page, please. Okay, so we were talking about headlines as a real estate. So I'm sharing few of examples as well to leave you with the right things, what you should do with your headline. Now see, example 1 and example 2. If a recruiter is looking at example 1, I don't think so they would be interested in connecting with this person. Now imagine that looking for jobs can start immediately was the headline of Michelle, and my marketing director, social media, print, strategic marketing, nonprofit was the headline of Farooq. Who would I be interested in connecting with? You can put, like, obviously the most important for recruiter is that if I'm looking for a marketing director in social media, print, and someone who has expertise of in nonprofit sector, I'll immediately go and click Farooq over Michelle. So use your tagline again to sell yourself, because this is a real estate which stands you apart, Farooq, apart from Michelle, Beverly, and Nitsin. And that's the whole idea of getting visibility and attracting the audience to your profile. Can I go can I go to the next place, please? Okay. So I have already discussed four real estates with you. Let's talk about the fifth real estate. That's the bonus today. About section. About section is basically if in a 6-second recruiter scans through your profile picture, through your background banner, through your name, through your tagline, through 4 of these real estate, if you're able to impress them, then they will go down to your about section. Again, about section, you have up to 2,000 characters, a big space to elaborate on what you have already created an impression in the first 4 real estate. This is your point where this is like an executive summary before anybody scrolls down to your experience section. So use this section to again elaborate on what you have written on your tagline. But again, don't be too over dramatic or too long. Keep it short and crisp. And what are the best practices? First, as a user person, there are 2 ways anybody can see your LinkedIn profile: on the mobile and on desktop. Anybody who is using the mobile version and scrolling your profile, only 12 words will be visible. Usually these are the first 2 lines. And if anybody is on desktop, the 2 lines will be visible. Then it says, LinkedIn automatically says see more, the way you are seeing over here, see more. Once you click see more, then they will be able to read the 2,000 words that you have written. Use the first 2 sentences to reflect who you are and why you do what you do. And while you're writing the complete 2,000 words, expressing about yourself, make sure that you are real you. In Canada, it's not only about hard skills. And what are hard skills? The technical skills that you bring on table to do a certain job. In Canada, and I can say in North America, including US, soft skills or transferable skills, which we call, or I also call them universal skills, which helps you work with your technical skills. So something like being a team player, collaborative. So these are your soft skills which you will need to work in a work setting, in a team settings. So you need to reflect your personal soft skill as well. So about section is a beautiful way where you can sell your technical plus your soft skills. So remember, reflect real you. Position yourself for the dream job title. The summary should consist a little bit of your personal sides, your interest, passions, value, interest, and experiences, which weaves in with your dream job title. Try to use first form of words. Don't use third form of word. That's a big no-no when you're addressing to Canadian LinkedIn professionals. Talk about your brand values, what you reflect. Like one of my brand values of Khatija Qureshi as a brand.
You're muted again.
So one of my brand values I have clearly reflected in my about section is empathy. I understand immigrant job seeker client needs, and then I customize my services around that. So you can again see what your employer is looking for and try to infuse your brand personality. Also make sure that it's not a bloat of text. There are a lot of your about section needs to breathe. There needs to be widespread, grammatically correct, and at the end leave information of what you want your audience to do, and probably a connect medium, email, whatever it may be. LinkedIn, now this is a structure on the right I have taken from LinkedIn directly from the horse.
Muted again.
Okay. On the right, what you are seeing, it's a snapshot I have taken directly from LinkedIn. They suggest that in about section, first two sentences should explain who you are. I would say a little bit right why you do what you do. A little, and that's where you infuse in your brand passions, interest. Next paragraph should be all around your experiences, top key skills, and passions. At the end, make sure you are leaving what you want your audience to do, basically future goals, and what you want your audience to engage you with. So these are few best practices. And remember, for LinkedIn profile optimization, don't leave your about section blank. It needs to have at least 40 words to have that good keyword density to come in the first searches of recruiters' results. Next slide, please. So I think so these are the 5 real estates I've talked about. The last one I'm leaving you with is again the 6th one, the featured section. Again, it's a new one which was introduced 1.5 years back. In the featured section, you can, whatever you have put up in the text, in your tagline, in your background banner, in about section, in featured section, you're making it visually rich. So use this to exhibit your expertise and build that impression in that 6-second recruiter scan. So you can feature posts, articles of your thought leadership, articles which you have written, and LinkedIn allows you to write articles on your profile. Also, you can upload external links. Like if you have a portfolio on a website, just go and put that website over here. It will be featured here. And then last, if you want to upload any PDF document or PPT presentation, you can do all of this here. So these are the sections which I have explained you today are the top sections which really can make and break for you to create that first winning impression in that 6-second recruiter scan. I think so it will be more than 6 seconds, but these are the quick ones a recruiter or any viewer will quickly go through to create an overall impression. So use these real estate wisely, and these are quick fixes real estate which you can do, but do them thoughtfully. So that I think so that is it for my content. Next slide, please. So yeah, that is it from my on today's presentation of discussing 4 real estate. I discussed 6 with you, and I left you with some best practices on how you should do it. If you have any question, I'll answer them now. Also, I'm inviting pre-arrival immigrants who are done with their immigration and will be landing in 2020 or 2021. Do connect in 2021 or 2022. Do connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm doing research right now to understand immigrant pre-arrival job search needs. So I would love to have a conversation with you. Do connect with me on LinkedIn. Just write Khatija Qureshi, this is my URL, but just write Khatija Qureshi, my name, and you will be able to find me. And I look forward to seeing you on LinkedIn, because I also create daily content around LinkedIn profile optimization, LinkedIn networking, LinkedIn content creation. So that is it from my side. If there are any questions, I would take them now.
Thank you so much, Khadija. There was so much information in this webinar today. For everyone, please do type your questions into the Q&A tab found at the bottom of your screen, and I'll start taking up some questions. The first one is again asking if this webinar is available to watch again. Yes, so the link that you used today to join, if you click on it in the next 2-3 hours, you should get the webinar again. It's on demand. You will get a recording link just in case in your email tomorrow as well. And all of our webinars are posted on our YouTube channel at the end of each month. So I hope that answers everyone's question regarding that. The next question here is, my profile is complete with lots of information, and I have made my profile personal with a few pictures of hobby collecting, glass art, marbles. Many people are viewing my profile, but no one has contacted me yet. What's going on?
Okay.
You're muted.
I don't know why it gets muted on its own, but thank you for the question. Again, LinkedIn profile is a combination of 10 plus sections. There can be a lot of variables into it, but what I understand that you have worked onto your profile, but you are not getting the connections. As I mentioned, that your LinkedIn presence is a combination of a lot of variables. So if your goal, let's say you come to me, Khatija, my LinkedIn goal is that I want to connect with industry specific professionals and I want to converse with them. So you have to take certain steps. So I can quickly tell you what steps you can take, and you can see probably what you are doing. So first thing is that you need to optimize your LinkedIn profile, which you said that you have. Second is that once you're connecting with someone, they are following onto your profile. So, and that's how the user experience is. So probably there is something into your profile which is not interesting them, which is not picking their interest. So that's why they are not interested in conversing with you. So try to see who are your audience and what they are looking for, and then make your LinkedIn profile based on that. Because what I understand, probably your LinkedIn profile is not converting into conversation. So I will highly suggest researching more about your audience and doing something differently which speaks to them. So I hope it answers your question.
Thank you. And also says LinkedIn is reducing the number of characters in an invite to connect by half. It is hard enough trying to appear interesting, talk about the other person and get them to connect and do all that without, betraying the fact that you're actually looking for a job. So because, how can you do that in just a few short sentences?
Okay, here I know you're talking probably about the connection request, which has around 300 characters, so that you have to fit a lot in a short space. But before that, I would highly recommend thinking about why you are approaching this person. Again, the mindset piece is the starting point of everything. You want to connect with this person to get something out of it ultimately, right? That is the whole point. But just imagine if you knock someone's door as a stranger with a short pitch, nobody would be interested in you. idea is, and that's the mindset piece, again, I'm saying, enter into connecting with someone with the idea of building relationships. So even if in that 300 characters of connection invite that you are writing, write it from the point of view of serving their interest and why you want to connect with them. Please don't ask anything. It's a big no-no for relationship building with Canadian professionals. So and again, going back to the mindset piece, if you connect with someone in nurturing relationship, it cannot happen overnight. And that's why I tell immigrants to use pre-arrival stage to first connect with people, nurture that relationship for 2-3 months, and as soon as you land, your relationship is warm to hit the ground running. Then you have become known, like, and trusted by the time you land, and then you can ask for something. So I know this is a big mistake which I see immigrant job seek. Again, we all learn from our mistakes, but I'm giving you a heads up. If you have time at a pre-arrival stage, connect with them, interact with them, nurture that relationship. Communication is a very important part of the networking vibe, intent, communication that you write to them, also to accelerate and nurture that relationship, and then ask for something. And I can tell you with my experience, if you are able to have that trusted partner relationship, they will bring opportunities to you. You don't even have to ask them. They will bring job leads. They will refer you to the people. They will bring unpublished job information, because I had my clients getting referral from stranger profiles, which they converted into nurtured partnered. So, I know it was a long answer, but I wanted to touch base on the mindset part, and what probably you can write in your connection invite to have that high ROI is try to open with some mutual, if you have any mutual interest or anything which is related, mutual grounds, and then go specifically into why you want to connect. Don't ask for anything, and that should probably would increase your chances of connecting. And that all you can do in 300 character. Believe you me, I do it, and my connection rate, acceptance rate is 90%. So you should be good on that.
Thank you. Next question here is, I heard a conversation with a recruiter who believes that it's absolutely okay to change your name as to obtain a job. What are your thoughts about that?
Okay. Different people, different point of views. I can tell you my take on that. I am a true believer of maintaining your own identity, because there is strength in diversity. I'm a big believer of from where I come from. So I am not a big advocate of changing your name, but again, you need to take your decision. When I migrated to Canada, I didn't change my name, although it's a little difficult to pronounce, but I have found local community very open to learn the pronunciations. And the beauty of it is that on LinkedIn there is a feature where you can upload your voice recording as well. Just next to your name, there is a voice recording, so you can use that section to upload your name pronunciation. Also, you can use the video story to talk about your name pronunciation. So I'm a big advocate of retaining your name and identity. Again, I leave it up to you, and I respect everybody's opinion. Different unique point of views, all respectful.
Thank you. I believe you talked about a video at some point. Can that video be sort of an elevator pitch? And how long should it be?
100%. It's a 30-second cover story, and it's by default is just 30-second. So use that to exhibit, to welcome and exhibit your elevator pitch. So just like elevator pitch, it cannot be 60 seconds, it needs to be 30-second long because it's 30-second video story. So yes, you can use your elevator pitch there. But one thing, don't make it robotic. Please don't make it robotic, because I have seen job seekers, like they say it so robotically that it doesn't create that connection. It's very important to create that connection, rehearse, and make sure that make the other person listen to it, and then upload the story. It needs to have that connect.
Thank you. Should you change your current country to Canada if you are a future immigrant, or should you wait until you come to Canada?
Okay, I'll answer this into two parts. The first part is the speaking to LinkedIn bot so that you come in recruiter searches. Recruiter searches on LinkedIn is geographic specific. So if you want to come in recruiter searches who are based in Canada, basically Canadian recruiter is your target audience, then definitely you need to switch your geographic location. It increases your visibility and it increases your searchability as well. So that is the first part. The second part is also technically I have been speaking and I've been listening to Canadian employers and recruiters is that they prefer candidates who are in Canada, because pre-arrival, then there are a lot of variables involved, dependent on how fast the employer wants you to join in. Again, it all depends on the reciprocity of what employers want, but I'll highly recommend pre-arrival immigrants, because usually as a pre-arrival immigrant, you start wrapping up things 2 months in advance. So I would say you change your geographics if you're, for example, planning to land in December 2021. So make sure that you change your geographics 2 months or a month prior, so that your efforts on LinkedIn get the right visibility from Canadian professionals. So yes, I would recommend in changing that, but at the right time.
Thank you. Next question here is, I was in Canada for a few months as a PR and worked as a cashier at Walmart, and then went back to India, but now it's stuck there because of COVID. Should they add their experience on their LinkedIn to show that they have Canadian experience? But the main job is actually HR related.
Okay, answering that question, it's one of the frequently asked questions that should we involve jobs which are not our dream job titles. So some people call it survival jobs, some people call it not relevant to the dream job title. So if you have done any jobs which is not in line with your dream job title, what I suggest is that try to find the transferable skills, because Canadian, if you have a Canadian experience, so try to narrate that experience and try to talk about transferable skills which your dream job title it might be looking for. For example, you mentioned that you have been doing cashier job and your dream job title is in HR field. I can see a perfect thread going through cashier job to HR field is problem solving, because in HR field you have to problem solve, understand customer needs. So these are the two ones I just identified. So you can like weave in the transferable skills and write it in a such way that it speaks not you as a cashier, but rather you having experience in those transferable skills, which will be useful for your HR job as well. I hope it answers your question.
Thank you. Will employers or hiring personnel in Canada be interested in to connect to someone who hasn't landed in Canada yet?
As I mentioned, it depends on employer to employer. A lot of time right now, because of, again, COVID, there has been an acceleration of remote opportunities. It again depends on what employer is looking for. again, what I listen from employers, I can only just share my observation. Don't consider this as a piece of advice. It is just that what I have listened and just a piece of observation. Employers prefer candidates who are here in Canada, but you can start networking with these employers at a pre-arrival stage, so that when you land, you have warm relationship, and you can hit the ground running by meeting them in person or virtual networking, and just present yourself as a candidate and what you're looking for. It would work that way more efficiently. But again, this is an observation. It all depends on what employer is looking for. If there is a report opportunity with no geographical boundaries, they would probably even hire you while you are back in India. So, but use your pre-arrival time to nurture relationship. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes at least 2 months to become a trusted partner, believe you me.
My next question is, my coworkers and current employer are on my LinkedIn network. If looking for a new job, will my current employer see this happening?
Can you repeat that question?
Would your employer see this on your LinkedIn that you're actively looking for a new job?
See, if you're putting anything on social media, any and everybody can see that. So it can be your current employer as well. And LinkedIn, I can tell you there, the feature, open to work feature, it has an option who can see that open to work feature, and it does has an option only recruiters. But again, LinkedIn put a disclaimer next to it that we will not take up complete responsibility, that your current employer might not see it. So again, anything that you put out on social media, any and everybody can see that, but there is a way of working around on how you can do that. And what is more important, that you, like, if you are professionally coming on social media to say something, you have a goal in mind, and you should keep all these things, that this will happen, people will see. It can be your current employer as well.
Thank you. How important is LinkedIn Premium as for a new immigrant to get for their job search?
Okay, this is again a frequently asked question which comes to me. As an immigrant job seeker, or as a beginner on LinkedIn, or as someone who is exploring LinkedIn for professional needs, LinkedIn Premium definitely gives you an edge in the searches. It definitely gives you an edge into accessibility of a lot of features, which allows you to converse with people. Like, for example, it does gives you flexibility to in-mail without any boundaries. It does gives you accessibility to LinkedIn learning courses, which you can learn as a method or a tool to say that you are upgrading your skill to understand Canadian culture, Canadian environment. So there are a lot of moving pieces, and definitely LinkedIn Premium does help out. Having said that, LinkedIn free version, if you are, I use an example of a cycle. Like my kid, he got a cycle with wheelers, so he wasn't able to drive the cycles without his training wheels. So he needed training wheels to drive, to learn how to balance himself on a bicycle. Then I took the training wheels out, and then he was all out on his own. So use your LinkedIn free membership first to do all the 3 steps which I told you. Because if you hire a space in a very expensive mall and you're paying a heavy rent, and customers are coming, they are not finding the output or what they are looking for, there is no point in renting that space. So use your free free account to optimize your LinkedIn profile, write it thoughtfully, create intentional content, start networking with people. See, I am using my free account like for past 3 years, and I'm getting all the leads, conversations, like I'm nurturing relationship using free. So premium definitely gives you an edge, but optimize your presence on free first, then probably you can jump to premium for a month. And then once objective is achieved, you can always disable it.
Thank you so much. We'll take this one last question here. Is it a good idea to post on your LinkedIn that you've taken pre-arrival services? So you've taken some kind of, pre-arrival program to learn more about your sector in Canada?
100%, 100%. Usually, immigrant job seekers are transitionally moving from their job in origin country to a job in Canada. So there is always a settlement time, and it is understood like 4 to 6 months is a settlement time, which employers understand. So you can use this time to express your, you can tell your employer that you're getting prepped up, and what are the things which send those signals to your employer, create that impression that you are prepping or adapting yourself to Canadian employment is: first, if you volunteer; second, if you are learning something new about Canadian space; and third is that if you're freelancing with any Canadian project. So these are the three things or three tools which are considered as, which are very valued by employers. So I'll 100% support if any learning program, if you're taking, do exhibit in your content, but don't just put it, I just graduated from this learning program. Talk about what you learned from it, which would help you in your dream job title. Create that thread and connection to talk to your employer's pain point.
Thank you so much, Khatija. Is there anything you'd like to add before I move forward to my messages?
That is it from my side. It was great answering the questions and sharing the knowledge. Again, as I mentioned, all the best for your settlement journey in Canada. It's a beautiful country, great economic opportunities, but what is really important, you have to do it right with the right attitude, mindset, and communication. Communication is a very important part where I see a lot of good results can happen in a less effort. And lastly, I would invite any pre-arrival immigrant planning to land in 2021 this year or 2022, as I'm conducting a research on immigrant job search need. So do reach out to me on LinkedIn. Just write my name, Khatija Qureshi. Even on Google, if you write, I'm there. But connect with me on LinkedIn and express your intention that you want to be a part of this research, and I will reach out to you for the conversation. That is it from my side. Thank you so much, Sonia.